Don't forget to go to ashkicking.com for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance products.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo!
Not just for the bloodline in which that we project, but just the coaching. My father is both our coach. For him to have the ability to get not one fighter to become an Olympian, but two fighters to become an Olympian, then transform one of these Olympians into a world champion speaks volumes. You know, so I expect for my brother to come out victorious tonight. I expect him to continue to push. At this point in his career, I expect him to fight people that he's better than, head and shoulders.
139.8 for Robles.
I'm looking for him
Robles.
not to fight down to the competition. If you're better than the person, be better than them. Perform on a different level than them. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a level of defensive discipline, ring generalship, boxing IQ, and I expect him to get his boy up out of here
Televised live on Showtime, but you want to be here in the arena to experience it, and sponsored by Corona Extra. Last
lot of fans tune in to watch him. And I mentioned tons of names of fighters. I said, what about Errol?
Say it again. He said black fighters.
He said black fighters, their style is unpleasing to the fans, and that's why, you know, some fans don't tune in.
Well, just to burst that bubble. No sport. I'm gonna wait for this to stop because I want you to hear me.
No, the action starting at 5:30. Doors open up at 5.
No sport in the history of sports became anything until a black person participated in it and created and made it something. So we gotta let's look at that first. Any sport there is that's out here, it's an Afro-American, it's a black person, a melanated person that's dominating the sport. Point blank period. Hands down. It's ways now for him to make that statement, it's ways of being exciting, because at the end of the day we are prize fighters and we are entertainers. It's ways to be entertaining without being reckless. I mean, it's ways for me to let my hands go and have a very exciting fight and without having to take shots upside the head and still display a level of defensive discipline. You have to understand the concept of boxing. Boxing is Marcus of Queensberg. It means to hit and not get hit. You know, I'm not he wants to get rewarded for doing something incorrectly. I'm not understanding that concept.
I still don't know which fighters he was talking about either, though. What should we expect, though? 2018?
Man, expect fireworks in 2018. 2018, we're definitely trying to make some things happen. Like I say, we have our mandatory challenger, Jojo Diaz, who's signed with Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya. Once again, if Oscar De La Hoya wants to push him off the building and feed him to the wolves, bring his ass on.
Gary, Jojo Diaz won not too long ago, very impressive. You know, the big fight, you, Jojo Diaz. When can we see it?
We looking about, how you doing, Queen? We looking for, you stop, man, you messed my whole interview up. We looking forward to doing something in May, God willing. He fought a fighter, older fighter, someone that has a lot of wear and tear on the speedometer. He did what he's supposed to do with a fighter of that caliber. His levels to everything. There's no way in hell that he's going to be able to execute that in the ring with Mr. Gary Buster Jr.
Gary, I got to ask you, Leo.
We know that you were looking for the rematch with Vasyl Lomachenko, but it looks like he's moving up in weight. Are you going to chase him up in weight to get that rematch?
None of that matters. Before the conclusion of my career, I'm going to put it like this. You can't take from what Lomachenko done as an amateur by becoming a gold medalist in the Olympics. No one knew who Lomachenko was in the professional sport until he competed against Mr. Gary Buster Jr. If everyone wants to keep it all the way 100, that's what it really was. And he fought a dehydrated version of Gary Buster Jr. He fought a Gary Buster Jr. that had to lose 5.5 pounds the day before the fight, completely dehydrated, and still fought to a split decision. A fight that I feel as though I shouldn't even been able to get out of the fight. I'm gonna break my foot off in his ass before the conclusion of my career. It doesn't matter if he moves up to 140. I come down from maybe 136, 137 to 27 to 26. So we have the flexibility to move up and down in weight. And we definitely plan on bullying around these bigger guys. There's nowhere that he can go that he can be safe.
Gary, what's your predictions on Abner Mares versus Leo Santa Cruz, and what's your take about them saying that they're going to move up to 130, possibly at the end of the year, without fighting you yet?
I personally don't care who wins between Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz. And I can see why they want to move up to 130, because they want to stay the fuck away from me.
Are they dodging you?
Of course. Every I feel as though that I'm one of the most explosive, ring general, smart, witty, savagest fighters in the sport of boxing today, that brings the IQ, the hand speed, the punching power, the slipping, and the technical expertise that boxing needs. Boxing is Marcus of Queensborough. It means to hit and not get hit.
Of the two, what I was mentioning, Santa Cruz, Abner Mares, which one do you prefer down the road, and which one would be more competitive if you had to choose between the two?
That's a funny question. I want to answer it without coming off cocky or arrogant. I feel as though whoever wins the fight, it really wouldn't matter to me who would win the fight. I would like to fight. Leo mentioned that he wanted to compete against me because I beat him. I stopped Leo from being able to make the Olympics. Okay. He had to compete against me in the Olympic trials to fight and become an Olympian. Of course, I was the 2008 Olympian representing the United States. So he couldn't get past me in the amateurs. He damn sure ain't gonna be able to get past me now in the pros. I've developed so much better. I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm smarter. It's a big difference. I would love to get that fight between, hopefully I'll be competing sometime in May. Okay. Leo and Abner will be fighting, I believe in June.
June, yep.
So the time frame would be damn near perfect for us to be able to get a unification bout immediately after his fight. God willing, whoever wins, it doesn't matter if Abner or Leo wins. I'm willing to win the fight.
Let's say when all the European fighters used to have to come over here to prove they were number one in the world. We got some great fighters in your division. Is it time for you guys to come over to us?
I mean, we was trying to fight Lee Salisbury. Lee Salisbury didn't want to take the fight.
Would you go over? Would you go?
Listen. If you're great, my father told me this a long time ago. If you have a dog and you put it in your yard, it's going to protect the yard. If you take that dog out of his yard and you take it to a completely different territory and yard, if you have a good dog, it's still going to protect that same yard with the same level of intensity.
Gary,
that's the outcome.
Gary, if you can't get the best fights at 126, is that a possibility of yourself moving up to 132? Or
of course. I come down from maybe 137 to get to 126, so we definitely have room to flex. We definitely can fluctuate from 140 all the way down to 126.
In regards to 130, who's the man to beat?
Until you get your revenge?
Listen, stop asking me questions about Lomachenko. I'm not talking about him.
On the subject
from here on out, anyone that's watching this video, if you ask me any more questions about Lomachenko, we're not talking about it.
On the subject of, Lee Selby's about to fight Josh Warrington in the big football stadium in Leeds in the north of England. We've got Carl Frampton in a massive fight with Nonito Donaire.
Carl Frampton is definitely one of the fighters that's in my division that already mentioned in the interview that I'm one of the best fighters in the division. Carl Frampton is also one of the fighters in the division that was lined up to compete against me for the mandatory challenger spot. He lost on the scale. Now you got to understand the tactics to certain things. This is the fighter that came up from 122 to 126, and now you can't make weight. You lose on the scale by a pound. That automatically disqualifies you to compete against Mr. Gary Russell Jr. for the WBC World Title. It's definitely tactics that are being used. I'm willing to go wherever it is. If we need to go over there, ass whoopings are universal. It doesn't matter where we go.
Let me ask you this: we're having a great super middleweight and cruiserweight WBSS tournaments over there that you'll be aware of. Should there be one for your division with the best 8 in the world? A tournament?
If it makes sense, if we can get any of these other guys in the ring that are world champions and is willing to make this fight happen, and the promoters and managers are willing to let their fighters get in the ring with Mr. Gary Russell Jr., let's make it happen.
Well, you've seen the Ring Magazine has appointed George Groves #1 in their super middleweight division. He's in the tournament. You know what's happened with the cruiserweights in that tournament. The answer seems to be to find out who the #1 is to have these tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely a great way to do it. And you have to understand, a lot of the managers and promoters and even the fighters aren't willing to enter themselves into this tournament because now there's no escape route. You got these guys, their livelihood is based upon their ability to perform and win. When they step in the ring with Mr. Gary Russell Jr., that's very slim.
We're drawing big crowds in the UK. We want to see you over there. Will you come over there and fight?
I would love to come over there and fight. Will you get any of your fighters from the UK to step in the ring with Mr. Gary Russell Jr., a Frampton or Lee Salisbury that we had?
Love to see it. Love to see it. Both brilliant matchups.
Of course.
They pay more over there too.
As Women's Universal, we're going to make it happen. It got to make sense.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
I gotta go with the home team. Deontay Wilder was a good friend of mine. He was on the Olympic team with me in 2008 Olympic team. It was funny because me and him was the only fighters that was actually on the same floor. So I had a little more camaraderie and a little more friendship and bond with Deontay Wilder than I did with a lot of the other fighters. So I'm definitely pulling for him.
Gary, a lot of talk about Jojo Diaz. What's the status of that?
I'm not sure. If Golden Boy, like I told them before, if Golden Boy is ready to feed him to the wolves, open my cage and send him and push him in. Open my cage and push him in. We're ready. He's the mandatory. He works with the rankings to be the mandatory challenger for the WBC title. We're accepting all comers. We're accepting all challengers. We're meeting them at the door. If they want to make the fight happen, let's make it happen. We want to try to make it happen relatively soon, sometime in May, so we can hopefully get an opportunity to get a unification bout against Lee Salisbury and against Abner Mars and Leo Santa Cruz, or even Lee Salisbury and Frampton. One of the two.
What's going to make these guys step up to face you, because you are really one of the more avoided fighters in the sport? What's it going to take?
Heart. It takes heart. It's going to take heart, and it's going to take this. Heart and this. That's what it's going to take to get these guys to get in the ring with.
Gary, are you looking for a homecoming fight down the future?
We had a homecoming fight. My last fight was against Oscar Escandón, strong competitor.
You took care of business real fast.
Yeah, well, it wasn't quick. We got him out in 7. We had to work hard. It was a very physical, draining fight. You had to push and be ready for the duration of the fight.
Was that a true test for you, or you feel like?
No, it wasn't a test. It wasn't a test. I feel as though he had more opposition than a lot of other guys that I competed against. I think that was the biggest thing. The bigger I think the better the competition is supposed to be, the easier the shit's gonna get.
Next week is Quig Valdez. Who do you like in that fight?
Say it again?
Next week is Quig Valdez. Who do you like in that fight?
Scott Quigg?
Yeah, Quig.
I honestly have no idea. I honestly don't watch TV much. I don't watch this boxing much. I never seen the guy Scott Quigg compete. I never seen him fight. I never pay attention to fighters unless I line them up in my crosshairs. I like Oscar Valdez. He's another one of the champions. I believe he has the WBO. That's another champion, once again, that we're willing to step in the ring and get a unification bout with. We not running from nobody. Everybody's running. As long as I got this WBC strap, nobody can walk down the street. Nobody's safe. Apparently, I'm a gatekeeper.
So everybody's on your radar.
Everybody's on the radar. Everybody's on the radar. Anyone that's willing to step in the ring and put it on the line, let's make it happen.
Hey Gary, I know you said you don't watch TV much, but who would you say is the best pound for pound fighter in the world right now?
Gary Russell Jr.
Aside from Gary Russell Jr.
I can't give you an answer to that. I can't give you an answer to that. I can't give you an answer to that.
If you could just real quick reiterate, since there was a whole lot of noise, what we talked about before, just go over one more time your reaction to what Abel Sanchez said about
you got to repeat it.
Okay, yeah. Abel Sanchez said that black fighters, they have an unpleasing style. And since it's not so noisy in here now, I want you to kind of reiterate on what you said.
I think that it really makes no sense at all for him to make that. It goes back into a person's perspective, how they pretend to view things. Some people, as a fan, they want to see somebody get their eye knocked out of their head and put it in and keep fighting and keep, but they forget about the true science of the sport of boxing. Marcus of Queensberry means to hit and not get hit. Mm-hmm. My father told me 2 fighters that has a war. It's 2 stupid fighters. That means it's 2 fighters that didn't have a plan B, that didn't have the ability to make the necessary adjustment to make the fight easy. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. It's ways of being exciting without being reckless. I can't even think of the guy's name. I would mention your name again, but I forgot it already. It's ways of being exciting without being reckless and taking unnecessary shots, getting hit upside the head, take 2 and 3 shots just to give one. That's not my style of fighting.
That's not really anybody's style. I mean, even aggressive fighters be trying to block, though, right?
Try to block, And I feel as though that a lot of people get a misconception of what they feel as though is, entertainment. It's levels to everything. Someone told me you have people in kindergarten, in elementary school, you have people in middle school, you have people in high school, you have people in college. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of difficult to talk to the college level students, or it's kind of difficult to talk to the middle age students like you're talking to the college level students. They're just not going to grasp the concept, and I'm guessing this is the situation that the gentleman is having.
Oh, you're talking about Abel Sanchez. What Abel Sanchez said. My bad.
Okay, yeah. I'm guessing that's the situation that Abel Sanchez is going through. He's not fully grasping the concept of the sport of boxing. Marcus of Queensberry, to hit and not get hit. It's ways of being entertaining without being reckless.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thanks for your time, Gary. Appreciate it.